You're just dropping knowledge. You're dropping knowledge all over the place. All these
Grab an
goddamn
umbrella. Rain of knowledge. Would you say that stouts are more popular in the Midwest? Or I should say Northeast? Because I feel like, so I lived in Chicago for about 10 years, Cleveland for 3. I found that, I personally found that stouts were more popular.
Oh, yes.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's maybe because stouts go really well with cold weather. Like they just do, they're a little higher in alcohol content. You know, it's, and they keep you nice and warm.
And honestly, to go into weird specifics about it, it could be a lot of things. So the brewing process itself, the reason that stouts go with a lot of more hearty and heavy meals like beef, I guess you could say, like steaks, is because the process that you toast or roast the grain is similar to if you put a steak on a grill. And of course, the phrase is going out of my head right now, but it has the exact same word. It converts all of these nitrogen or oxygen things, and it's the exact same process, which is why dark beers go along with grilled, like hearty kind of meals like that. Meanwhile, lighter beers like lagers or IPAs, they go well with really light things like salads or fish or like shrimp kind of appetizer, that kind of thing.
Okay. So maybe, I mean, the meat industry in the Midwest, as you know,
Probably,
it's just way bigger. You know what I mean?
It's
the
more
amount
hearty,
of steakhouses
comforting.
in Chicago is, you can't even count
That's
them.
that's what Chicago's like.
That's
It's
what it's
like
known
that,
for.
That
Yeah.
and oysters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Okay.
But like,
I was
come
like,
out
wait,
here.
All right, so when I was in
Oysters?
Chicago, when I was in Chicago, I went to a fucking steakhouse. It also was like a raw bar too.
Okay.
I don't remember what the fuck the name was, but it was like old school. I mean, old school, but it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the food is pretty damn
I want
good
a
in
fucking steak
Chicago.
right now. God damn it. I'm so hungry.
But yeah, okay. That's
so
interesting,
hungry.
but that totally makes sense then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Weird science.
Weird science.
Perfect.
You guys ready for?
Yeah, I was just going to say, we might as well just finish off this bottle.
I'm gonna open it first.
For those at home who can't see this, this asshole who's been bartending over 11 years tried to pour tequila with the cap on.
Well,
Oh man.
someone's cut off.
Yeah.
I do believe this breakfast stout is kicking on in.
Oh my god. I'll be so happy when this bottle's
Love
out.
it.
Why? Then
Thank
just
God
bring
we
back
did
the
it.
next-
Done.
Yes.
We did it. We did
Thank
it.
God.
That
How long has
that
this
is
one
the
been
sound
here?
of an empty bottle.
Like 4 episodes.
4 episodes, yeah. Well, to be fair, Evan was sick, so he didn't want to really drink one day, and then we were all like, out of... someone else was going through a sobriety kick. 2-hand touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, all right, cool. Yeah, we're not going to drink. It's been collecting dust, so I'm glad to see it put to good use. And cheers. Autumn, thanks again for coming on.
Of course, thank you.
There it is.
So how was that chased with a stout?
Honestly delicious.
Magically delicious.
I believe that was a different brewery in the area.
Speaking of
God.
Speaking of though, so we just had O'Connor on not too long ago. Liz Poplowski, and we were talking earlier about how she kind of like paved the way for like female reps like in the area. And this is not something that I knew at the time, but I know just in general, like we've got Elizabeth from Smart Mouth. You know what I mean? She's like one of the first, like she's definitely the I think she's like level 3 now, but she's like the only female in Virginia that's like level 3 when it comes to like to brewing. But the female brewers,
Shout out Elizabeth Satarsky. We love you.
Fucking
You're one of our
love
best
you, girl.
friends. You're awesome. Keep killing it, girl.
She's our chapter leader for the Pink Boots Society, too.
Oh, you're part of
Yes,
Pink
she
Boots
is.
also?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Yes.
See?
If y'all are listening, I'm sorry I missed the potluck. I promise it was an accident.
Like, that's batch.
That was my fault.
But Pink Boots, what is Pink Boots?
So it's pretty much a society or club membership kind of thing that women in the beer industry can join. We have meetings that we just talk about pretty much everything from sales to off flavors, just kind of just keeping us all educated because, of course, women, they're not too many of us in the beer industry because everyone's like, oh yeah, she just drinks liquor, wine, or seltzers or something like that. So it definitely keeps us more informed. It gives us more friends, places that we can go to hang out with people. And then also on a more national level, they offer scholarships for people, or for women, I guess, to take different tests to pretty much just further their knowledge to kind of highlight their successes afterwards.
That's fucking sick.
That's great. Yeah,
It's really
that's
cool.
awesome.
I love it.
Well, Pink Boots, if you're listening, we were debating having not debating. We've been discussing having a party for breast cancer awareness. So keep your ears to the ground. We're gonna call you. We're gonna get you involved.
Fucking boom.
Boom.
Because we're here for the titties.
If we could drop the mic, we would, but we cannot. They're connected.
That's a breast cancer thing. We're here for the titties, not the pink boots. That's like, we get it, you guys. Anyway. But
Moving on.
yeah, but oh god, weird. But no, seriously though, we were talking about it earlier, and Liz being one of the first reps, here in the area, working with O'Connor, and now, I mean, you've got like Charlotte, you got yourself, and the last like beer event that I went to, it was like. Actually, we went to the Beer Awards. The Beer Awards.
Yeah. This past week,
it was fucking like it was a great crowd. But like girls and guys, and I don't want to preach on this like separation shit, but like I feel like I feel like it's very equal. I feel like so in my head, coming from a bartender's perspective, what I mean. I remember working at the Yard House, and, some of the guests that we had, like, essentially going towards, like, a Evan or, like, a myself when it came to, like, beer knowledge. Like, if I try to tour guide somebody, they would look at me and go, oh, this fucking, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, we totally get it. Like, whatever you say, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if you had, like at the time, like a Lauren or whoever else that was behind the bar with us, she's like, oh, like what type of style beers you like? And the guys are like,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck do you know? You know what I'm saying? But like this
yeah.
girl, it's like this fucking chick is more knowledgeable than I am. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, like Elizabeth can
God.
just educate you.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she makes me feel like I don't even know what an ale versus lager is. You know what I mean? Like her knowledge is so deep, and,
Right.
and I love seeing women come into that and just being able to educate people way more than the average guy.
Yes.
Like it's great. I absolutely love it.
That's why I appreciate my start into the industry because, of course, everybody has their own opinions and thoughts about Green Flash, but because I was hired on and they mentioned, of course, because they're a big facility, they were very big on tours, and I immediately was like, that's what I want to be. And once I kind of set my head to something, like, that's what I'm going to do regardless. And so, honestly, starting at Green Flash, I didn't know shit about beer. I knew nothing.
Yeah.
I knew that I would drink it, and that's about it. I didn't know anything. I studied my ass off for months, and that's when I got the tour guide position. And I feel like even though I would do an hour-long tour describing everything in that brewery to people, there would still be that one home brewer that was like, so, do you know what this pipe is? And I'm like, seriously? Like,
bro.
like, come on. I just explained like the
manufactured
science
that
of
pipe?
water. Right? Like, I explained the science of the water breakdown. But you want to know who made that pipe. And then like the medical guys, they're like, what grade of steel is this? I'm like, are you kidding me right now, dude? I just explained all these valves to you. Like, come on, just move on. Just move on.
It's 8. The grade is 8. Get the fuck out.
Right, pretty much.
So I'm going to call out these misogynistic assholes.
Dickheads.
Do you feel as though
Dickheads.
you get tested a little more
yes.
from guys just because you're a woman in the industry?
Yeah. You pretty much always have to be on your game. You have to know the things that they don't expect you to know just because of that.
Right. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like guys just look at you because they're expecting to see, let's say the flanneled out, full beard,
Oh, yes.
dad bod, fucking just like grungy dude that knows everything about beer because of the image. You know what I mean?
Much, yeah.
Drives a Chevy.
Drives a Chevy, yeah, or GTO, something like that.
Something.
You know,
One of those.
just fucking.
That's
But
why
good
I
for
have-
you, yeah. So all the
Yeah.
misogynistic assholes out there, you know, women know their shit, okay, and they
fine.
do their homework probably more than men. Just throwing it out there.
Just saying.
Because we're
saying.
persistent and stubborn.
Shit, that was her words. Those are. She's right though. But I mean,
No, because I mean, you see that. Like I've been bartending, you know, for a while, and I remember about a month ago, this guy wanted an old fashioned, and I didn't even have to make it. He ordered at a different bar, but there were 2 females bartending, and so like one of the girls make it, doesn't go well.
Not good enough.
The other girl makes the next one because he sends it back.
Not good enough.
Fuck. And then he sees me through the door, and then he's like, just comes to me and he's like, "Hey man, can you make this right this time?" And I'm like, "Cool, man, I got you." So I make it, and of course it's perfect in his eyes.
It's the exact same
So,
thing.
so of course, you know, the other 2 girls run up and
Yeah.
they're like, "Steve,
That fucking
how the
dick."
fuck did you make this?" And I'm like describing it to him, you know, and they're like, "That's exactly what I made." And I'm like, "Look, it probably has nothing to do with how you made it. It's
No.
just this guy is an old time kind of guy, and he just wanted a dude to make it for him." You know what I mean?
Made
So
him
I'm
feel
sure
more
you
manly.
probably see some parallel things in your industry as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
fucking-
hats
fucking-
off to you to fight through that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna apologize on behalf of all the asshole guys out there.
I'm gonna finger wag at all the other motherfuckers that are out there.
there you go. We're gonna finger wag them.
You know,
like
fucking
stop.
dude. Yeah, it's fine. You go. One. It's never about the gender. It's always about the experience.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I was new in a restaurant and there was somebody there that had been there, for years, that had been in the industry for years, and they knew more knowledge than I did. I've been trained by I fucking dude. I got my start. I got trained by Markayla Starr, Ashlyn Riley, and Jess. I can't remember her last name right now.
Jess, we still love you.
I hope she's not listening. I hope she's not listening. But Markayla and Ashlyn were like 2 and Katie. Oh my god, fucking! I got trained by chicks. You know what I mean? Like they taught me like what the fuck it was to like work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and they killed it. They fucking killed it. Like absolutely killed it. And it frustrates the shit out of me to continue to see like what girls have to go through in the industry. You know what I mean? To, like being objectified and fucking yada yada. You know what I mean? Like and I mean I'm not sure if any of this is ever going to change. Any part of it, because guys are guys and girls are girls and sex sells and all these other things. But the main thing I'm looking at is like, what are you here for? Mm-hmm. Are you here for the fucking like strip club experience? You know what I'm saying? Where you're like out there pouring your heart out, trying to like get your feelings out about your life, or are you like here to enjoy your fucking self? Because I feel like, the deep rooted thing of that I'm like trying to get at is that most people when they go out, they're not looking for just to have a good time. You know what I mean? They're looking for something else other than like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It reminds me of like the saying, and this has happened to me multiple times, where you have a guy that walks up and he's like, "Hey man, where the bitches at?" I'm like, oh, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Oh, they're on a party bus. It arrives in 45 minutes.
wait. I hold my 2 fucking just like I hold my 2 fingers to my head, and I'm like, wait. I can't feel them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like what the fuck? How the fuck am I supposed to? Yeah, how the fuck am I supposed to answer that fucking question, guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that it's like I don't know, man. It's my own personal shit.
No, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed. Like I talk about it all the time, but like, so there's 2 regulars that we have, and I'm going to save them, and I'm not going to mention their names, and they're great, and I fucking love them, but they're still kind of old school. Right, so like I love to tell the story of. So one day, I'm bartending and I'm with Brittany and Ashley, who were on the show, episode 18.
Fuck yeah, Brittany and Ashley.
Brittany and Ashley, what up? And they just had let's say 2 pounds of crab legs and
gonna say 2
steamed
pounds of
shrimp. No. 2 pounds of
Where are we going with this conversation?
No, and there's like a
What?
pile